If John Jones took it, that means John Jones felt very confident he would win. So I would put the money on John Jones.
Yeah.
So and then because John Jones is not the type of guy that likes to lose. He's such a winner in every aspect of what he does. Man, I think the UFC is gonna have to put a lot of money out there for John to say, okay, I'm down. Because John don't need to prove anything to anybody. He's done it all.
Javier Mendez has just shared his shocking insights on John Jones versus Tom Aspinall, stating that he would bet anything on John Jones. On the other hand, Demetrius Johnson expressed his belief that Tom Aspinall has the potential to defeat John Jones, citing Aspinall's speed and athleticism as key advantages. Johnson suggested that Jones requesting 6 months before the fight could be a tactic to gather more information on Aspinall, as there isn't much footage of Tom in extended, drawn-out bouts. He pointed out that most of Aspinall's victories come quickly with explosive attacks, and aside from a brief moment when Tom was caught by Sergey Pavlovich, he has been largely dominant. Johnson emphasized that if Aspinall remains calm, doesn't get rattled by John's reputation, and keeps the pressure on, he could very well pull off the win.
I think Tom.
I think Tom can beat John Jones because how fast and athletic he is.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that this is where me and Michael were talking, is that Jones says he wants 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't expect Tom Aspinall to wait 6 months.
No.
If Jones says, oh, he can fight somebody else, I think it's for Jones to get more data on Aspinall, because there's not a lot of data on Aspinall when he fights. Blitzes across the void, throws a big shot, knocks somebody out. I mean, he has had, back and forth when he got rocked by Pavlovich a little bit, when they're like kind of...
He stung him.
Stung him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I see. But other than that, I think Jones wants more data on him. And I think if Aspinall can weather and take the fight to John, and not be caught up in the mystic aura, and don't allow John Jones to run away from him, I think Tom beats him.
MMA Guru is confident that Tom Aspinall will use smart movement and feints to keep John Jones on edge. He envisions Aspinall staying unpredictable with his speed and low calf kicks, making it challenging for Jones to find a rhythm or time his strikes. While Jones may land a few shots or try to take Aspinall down, MMA Guru believes Tom will stuff those attempts and respond with explosive attacks. Drawing a parallel to Jones's fight with Dominic Reyes, he thinks Tom will be able to break the distance and land cleanly. MMA Guru predicts that Aspinall will finish John Jones in the first round.
But I reckon, if I had to give a prediction, I think Tom Aspinall goes out there, feint heavy. He does a lot of that.
Yep.
A lot of that stuff. Jones goes, I'm not just going to wade forward like I did against Cyril Gane. Calf kicks, smash. Calf kick, smash. Too low for John to catch. Fast. John maybe catches him with some stuff. Maybe shoots in. Aspinall's going to stuff it, I reckon. Separate like a Dominic Reyes could. And then he blitzes in. Bap. Catches John. I think John goes down in round 1.
Javier Mendez explained that if John Jones agreed to fight Tom Aspinall, it would mean Jones felt very confident in his ability to win. Mendez pointed out that Jones doesn't like to lose and is a winner in every aspect of his career. He emphasized that Jones would not take a fight unless he believed he had a strong advantage and was sure of victory. So if Jones agreed to face Aspinall, it's because he felt he could beat him.
So, okay, someone gives you $100 grand to bet John Jones versus Tom Aspinall.
If John Jones took it, that means John Jones felt very confident he would win. So I would put the money on John Jones.
Yeah.
And then because John Jones is not the type of guy that likes to lose. He's such a winner in every aspect of what he does that you're not going to push him into a fight. If he doesn't feel he can win that fight and doesn't have a good advantage, he's not going to take it. But let's face it, Aspinall is one of those, do you really want to take this fight?
Mendez also mentioned that the UFC would likely need to offer a significant amount of money to get John Jones to take the fight with Tom Aspinall. According to Mendez, Jones doesn't need to prove anything to anyone because he has already accomplished everything in the sport. He noted that for Jones to take on such a challenge, the financial incentive would need to be substantial enough to convince him to step into the cage.
Man, I think the UFC is going to have to put a lot of money out there for John to say, okay, I'm down, because John don't need to prove anything to anybody. He's done it all.
Moreover, Cain Velasquez shared his observations on Tom Aspinall's fighting style, noting how Tom moves and strikes while constantly pressing forward. Cain believes John Jones has likely studied this aspect aspect of Aspinall's game as well. He pointed out that John is meticulous in his preparation, thoroughly analyzing his opponents and understanding every detail. Because of this, Cain feels that Jones will find a way to neutralize Aspinall's approach. Ultimately, he doesn't see Aspinall being able to beat John Jones.
So me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit, and his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. I think John sees it too.
Okay.
So I think with that, just because again, he studies, man. He does his homework. You know, he's a master at this. He analyzes things. He studies you over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's gonna know what to do. So I don't think he beats John. No.
Velasquez also discussed how all fighters have certain habits, but some are better at hiding them than others. He pointed out that Tom Aspinall's striking becomes more predictable when he moves aggressively, as his attacks tend to be more obvious. Cain emphasized the importance of masking these habits with feints, but noted that Tom often commits fully when he strikes, either rushing or lunging with everything he has. While Cain acknowledged that this approach has worked well for Tom and has contributed to his success, he believes John Jones's ability to study opponents thoroughly will allow him to spot and exploit these patterns, ultimately leading to a victory over Aspinall.
Everybody has a pattern, right?
Okay.
Everybody has a fight pattern.
Yeah.
And then some people disguise it better than others. The simple fact is the way Tom, the way that he comes in and fights, he does have a pattern that's somewhat easier to find when he comes in and strikes. And I think you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of things come with that. It's disguising your pattern. It's, you know, throwing fakes here and there before. But when he comes to attacks, he comes in and attacks. It's 100% full go. You know, he comes in, glides in, lunges in, and does his attack. Again, not that it's not effective. It is. You know, he's done great things with it. I mean, look where he's at now. Not taking anything away from him. No, he is. But I think with the type of guy that John Jones is, I think he studies him and he beats him because of that.
Velasquez concluded by praising Tom Aspinall, calling him an outstanding fighter who has rightfully earned his place as a world-class competitor by defeating tough opponents. He agreed with the praise for Tom's physical build, quickness, striking ability, and power, describing all of these attributes as extremely impressive. Cain emphasized that for him, the most important factor in any fight is how the fighters match up against each other, as that's what makes the bouts exciting. He finished by expressing his admiration for Tom's accomplishments and what he's achieving in his career.
What he's been doing, great, obviously, you know, champion of the world, amazing, you know, he's beaten some tough guys to get there. I see what you're saying as far as like the body type, the movement, the speed. You know, the striking, the strength that he has. So it's great, man. Just great stuff. And you know, for me, it's obviously it's the matchups. You know, like the matchups was what makes everything interesting. So I think it's great what he's doing.
Eddie Hall expressed strong confidence that Tom Aspinall would defeat John Jones in a potential matchup. While he acknowledged Jones as a legendary fighter, Hall believed that Aspinall's skill, speed, and rapidly growing potential would give him the advantage. He even suggested that Jones's hesitation to accept the fight might indicate fear. Hall emphasized that what matters most are the actions inside the cage, and he firmly stood by his belief that Aspinall would emerge victorious if the two ever faced off.
John Jones or Tom Aspinall. So if you don't know MMA world, sorry to bore you, but Tom Aspinall is UFC's #1 right now. John Jones is, you know, he's seen as the best MMA fighter on the planet. Dana White's got a massive for him, says he's unbeatable. Honestly, I think if you put John Jones and Tom Aspinall in a room and said one man leaves, I think Tom Aspinall leaves that room. I genuinely do. I think, and I think John Jones, I mean, I can't badmouth the guy. He's got an amazing record, but he's definitely ducking Tom Aspinall, 100%. And I think he's even said he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall after his next fight. He's pretty much going to retire after this fight, so he's ducking. Tom Aspinall. I mean, he can say what he wants, but actions speak louder than words. So there we go. Anyway, the answer to that question is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is kicking John Jones.
Dricus du Plessis acknowledged Tom Aspinall's youth and strong drive, noting that John Jones is nearing the end of his career. He expressed a desire to see Jones retire undefeated, while also hoping Aspinall rises to become the next top star in the sport. At the same time, du Plessis showed respect for Jones's mentality as a fighter and his ability to make challenging fights look effortless, underscoring why many view him as one of the greatest of all time.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. I want John Jones to retire unbeaten, and I want him to retire, and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing. But John Jones, being the warrior that he says, pay me enough and I'm doing it. Aspinall wants it, and one of them has to lose that fight. And that's the one thing, you look at it and go, Aspinall's probably going to win. But then, if you ask me that, I say, no. We've said that so many times with John Jones, and it makes it look easy. He is the greatest of all time, for sure.
Former UFC star Chael Sonnen confidently predicted that the fight between John Jones and Tom Aspinall is going to happen, and it's going to happen next. He emphasized that Jones would only return for a matchup with Aspinall, although he acknowledged that there's always a possibility Aspinall could face someone else if necessary. Sonnen also dismissed any rumors about Jones delaying or avoiding the fight, calling them false. In his view, the only thing that matters is when Dana White makes the call, because once that happens, Jones will accept the fight.
This fight is going to happen. In fact, this fight is going to happen next. You will not see John Jones fight and it not be Tom Aspinall. I can give you that as an assurance. I can't do it the other way. I cannot tell you that there's no scenario where Tom Aspinall fights and it would be against anyone but John Jones. I can't do that. I'm very close. I can go further. You will see John Jones fight Tom Aspinall. All the reports that you've heard that John is holding this fight up, they're not true. John has gone to the media and he's had his fun. The litmus test is when that phone rings and it's Dana White, what is said in that moment. That's the only way you go into the category of delaying and or ducking. That did not happen. That is a false report.
UFC welterweight champion Bilal Muhammad believes Tom Aspinall could present John Jones with his toughest challenge yet, highlighting Aspinall's power and speed as prime examples of the new generation of heavyweights. While Muhammad thinks Jones might still come out on top, he feels the fight is only worth it if the financial reward is significant enough. He predicts that Dana White will push for the matchup due to its massive earning potential, but speculates that Jones, having already secured his legacy, might prefer to face Alex Pereira instead, unless the payout reaches somewhere between $30 to $50 million.
If I'm John Jones, like a lot of people consider him the GOAT, the best fighter ever do it. The next hungry lion is Aspinall. It's probably the toughest fight that he'll have. Like this guy's the next generation. He's a lot stronger, a lot faster. But I think John Jones is good enough to beat him. But it's like it has to be worth it. The fans are fickle, right? You lose one fight, they're gonna, he sucks. Right? They just care about your last win or your last loss. I think Dana White and them will end up making it. Dana White's a smart businessman. He knows how much money that fight would make. If I'm John Jones, you've already done everything in the sport. It's not worth it unless it's that $30 million, $50 million payday.
Joe Rogan expressed doubts about John Jones's ability to dominate someone like Tom Aspinall, who he sees as a true heavyweight with remarkable speed and mobility. Rogan praised Aspinall as a rare athletic talent, noting that he's quicker than any other heavyweight he's seen. He warned that Aspinall's unique combination of size, speed, and technical skill could pose a real challenge, even for a fighter as accomplished as John Jones.
Can he do that with a guy like Aspinall, who's a legit 255-pound natural who moves like he's 80 pounds lighter? He's a freak, man.
Yeah.
Aspinall's a freak. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem.
Curtis Blades gave Tom Aspinall a slight 55% edge over John Jones, but recognized that defeating Jones would be far from easy. Blades emphasized Jones's vast skill set and championship experience, noting that these qualities make him a constant threat. He stressed that any fight with Jones would present a major challenge for Aspinall, acknowledging the difficulty in overcoming a fighter of Jones's caliber.
Now, do you think Aspinall beats him?
Yeah, I would pick him. Like, I would go 55% him. Obviously, his it's not gonna be a landslide. Like, we're going against John Jones. He's a legend. He's got all the weapons.
Paddy Pimblett expressed that he's a big fan of Tom Aspinall and considers him one of the coolest guys in MMA. However, despite John Jones getting older, Paddy still can't bring himself to pick against him. He believes Jones has the best fight IQ in the sport, possibly in MMA history. According to Paddy, Jones always comes prepared with the perfect game plan to defeat his opponents. While he'd love to see Tom win, Paddy admitted he just can't bet against John Jones.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fight happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against John Jones. The one thing I do think John Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against John Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
Kamaru Usman believes Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight and the biggest threat to John Jones's dominance. However, he advised Jones to secure his financial situation before taking on such a risky fight. Usman emphasized the importance of being smart and calculating, ensuring that the right conditions are in place before stepping into the octagon for such a challenging matchup.
I do think Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight right now. 100% the biggest threat to pry that belt away from John Jones. But John has got to get that bag.
Israel Adesanya noted that John Jones and Tom Aspinall are similar in size, with Aspinall being slightly taller and more solid. While he acknowledged that Aspinall's speed could pose a serious threat, Adesanya highlighted Jones's superior grappling as a key advantage. He admitted that no one can know for sure who would win until the fight actually takes place. Adesanya described the potential matchup as exciting, unpredictable, and something that fans truly deserve to see.
But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. Yeah. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt, but John is different. Yeah. But I don't know, man. They gotta fight. But if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Daniel Cormier found the situation between Tom Aspinall and John Jones unusual and difficult to fully grasp. He mentioned that if he were in Aspinall's position and had the chance to fight Jones, he'd expect a major payday and would push for significant compensation. Cormier believes Jones doesn't fear Aspinall and likely sees him as just another opponent to beat. However, he also noted that Jones is aware the fight carries real risks. Cormier pointed out that when the betting odds were first released, Jones was actually the underdog, a rarity in his career, as he's typically been the favorite.
This whole Tom Aspinall, John Jones thing, for lack of a better word, is just weird. For me, it's just weird. Like, I don't get it. If I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be compensated. I want to say it. I want that fuck you money. John Jones shooting you straight. Because at the end of the day, guys, I will tell you, not afraid. Tom Aspinall to John Jones is just another guy that he would fight and that he believes he can beat. But what he does want is to get paid. And I think he recognizes the dangers in the fight. I mean, when this line opened, John Jones was an underdog. John Jones was the underdog. I don't even know if there's ever been a time in his career where someone has been favored to beat John Jones. And I think that concerns him.
Cormier also noted that John Jones has been hinting at retirement, suggesting that the fight with Tom Aspinall could be one of the last big matchups of his career. He doesn't believe Jones will continue fighting just for the money if his performance starts to decline. On the topic of timing, Cormier thinks the UFC likely already has plans in motion or is close to finalizing something. He added that Jones should take the fight sooner rather than later, as with each passing month, he gets older, while Tom Aspinall continues to improve and get better.
If I was John Jones, I would do this earlier than later, because every month that passes, he just gets older, and Tom Aspinall gets better. So I would try to do this as soon as possible. I wouldn't want to wait till New York next year, where he's almost 38, 39 years old, with that kid just continuing to improve.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.